And I'd like to welcome Christine Spar. And Christine is the Resident Services Director. And it's great to have you on here today because we're going to get an overview of what Resident Services is about. You're going to give us some statistics and find out how people can utilize it because, let's face it, it's one of the #1 things people call in. But you want to make sure that when people call in, they're calling the right department and what it's all about. So that's why you're here today.
Well, that's great.
And
thank
welcome.
you for having me. I appreciate that.
I love it. I think this is an important thing that we tell everyone. So we're going to take a look at the first slide here. And this is sort of an org chart in a sense of what this is. Actually, I guess more of a flow chart of what this is all about. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Well, I'll be happy to. All right. Resident Services consists of the business center. That's when you first walk in, and you you may be just coming new to the village. You could be either leasing, or you could be already have purchased the unit, and so, or you could have a maintenance issue that you'd like to report. So we have the business center, and then we have the contact center, which is actually the call center. So when you call the 4600 number, you would be calling the call center environment, and we would take care of answering your gate clearance requests, as well as any broadband questions or concerns that you might have, and we also have the technical support. So if there's any way that we can actually answer your questions or work through the problem with our televisions in the same site that you have, we can actually take care of that and make certain that you're all ready to go by the time you hang up the phone.
And this is something that was kind of instituted a while back, that instead of people having a list of what numbers to call, they can call for many things, not security, but for many things, this is the first number that they would call.
That's correct.
And they don't need to be told, okay, hang up and call broadband, or hang up and call this and that and that.
Our goal is to one call does it all. So when you call the 4600 number, you're calling in order for us to be able to handle multiple services, whether you're at the front counter or whether you're in the call center. We also have sales and leasing, as well as escrow. I do have staff too that can help you out with trust and trustees, and as well as any of the. So that helps because we have the persons with the expertise in order to help guide you through.
Wow, that's really nice. And of course, that would pertain to not if they want to create a trust for all their other assets and investments, but when it pertains to their residents.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. But that's fantastic.
We also have the leasing office, and so often people do not have to call in once they join our villages. And so the leasing office is actually the first place that they go to in order to get their identifications, in order for them to check in and make certain that all the paperwork is in file. We know who's actually going to be residing in the residence, and we can get any necessary information that we need in our system in order to make certain that we're there for them as well.
All right, so the pie chart here is really showing you the type of calls you get in and sort of the percentages, right?
That's correct. Actually, as a VMS environment, we handle over 368,000 calls annually.
Wow.
And of that, over almost 300,000 are actually handled by Resident Services. So as you can see, we're pretty busy.
Yeah, that's incredible.
We also have this also includes the inbound and also the outbound calls. Or if you call after hours, you might choose to go into a voicemail or an email, and then we answer them within the next business day. So anything before 4 o'clock are answered the same time, the same day. Anything after 4 o'clock is handled the next business day.
All right, so tell me about the gate clearance.
Well, gate clearance.
Pardon me while I sneeze here. But the gate clearance, this was, again, calling the one number. You folks can help out with that for guests coming in.
That's correct. We do. Our representatives can handle all types of services to include the gate clearance. If all of our lines are busy, then a gate clearance call does go to the gate itself. And then they can also enter the information and be there for when the guest arrives. And
of course this is part of the system that again was put in a couple years ago that Chuck helped put in, and others as well, the whole Dwelling Live, and this is something that dovetails into that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is to eliminate excessive number of calling
Yes.
for our residents, and so that they can get everything by just calling one number. And so we're graduating into that, which takes
Wouldn't
a
that be
little bit
nice
of time
if
to do.
anything we call nowadays was
Exactly.
like that?
Yeah.
So here are the tickets, and first of all, explain what a ticket is.
When you call resident services and you're asking for a service, then we produce a ticket
Right.
that goes to that section or division that actually handles that particular service.
Okay.
And they take that ticket and take it out into the field and they work it.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, it's very important to us that we take care of the tickets quickly and effectively.
Right, and these are more, this isn't, a ticket is not issued if somebody needs a gate clearance.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
This is for basically kind of like a work order,
Right,
in a sense.
that's good.
Okay.
And maintenance,
Yeah.
for maintenance and
Right.
plumbing, for carpentry, or if you just want to have status
Yes.
on your ticket. Where is it at?
Yeah.
When is it going to be worked?
Okay.
So what we do, if we can go back to the next
Okay, can we go
slide
back to
before that.
the first, there we go, thank you.
So in 2017, we handled over 93,000 tickets. That's my division specifically.
Right.
In 2018, over 92,000. But what's really, really great is 85% of those tickets were handled in 0 to 30 days.
Wow.
Which is absolutely amazing. It's a really great story, and it's important that we know that not only are we taking the tickets effectively so that the other sections and departments can do their job, but also that they're doing the job and they're doing it very effectively.
Yeah.
So we're very, very proud of those numbers.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a great percentage. Let's see the next slide here, and the thing that stood out for me, of course, is moisture intrusion. So people are calling in saying, I noticed that there's a leak or something. It could
Or
be
a
like
flood.
mold or
It
anything
could be,
like that?
It could be a flood. It could be, with
Wow.
our excessive rains, it might
Yeah,
be.
so that's a big percentage
A
there.
leaking roof. It could be just a plumbing issue.
Yeah. Did that go
Okay.
up this year because of the rains we had?
It did.
Okay.
However, we are concluding those tickets by 52% of
Yeah.
where we were at
Yeah.
in 2017. So by process changes, by making certain we have the crews in the right place,
Right.
keeping up with the rains, they have absolutely done an outstanding job. That was one of the areas that needed improvement, and by giving information and facts and having that ticket type of information as to what we're doing and how quickly are we doing it. You can see we had the landscaping increase of 14%, manor alterations 14%, and then paving.
Yeah.
That was something that we really hit very hard.
And that would be something, the sidewalks coming up or
That's correct.
of that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yes, or a crack
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
sidewalk that could be dangerous.
Right.
So we take care of that, or it could even be a tree that's uprooting part of the paving bed.
Right.
As you can see, the percentages of those part of the top 10, we really have increased our services and been able to make a finished product at the end of finished ticket. So that's
very
really
good.
great.
Now we're going to talk about a nice system, the kiosk queuing system, and this is something that's we know they're downstairs. When you come in, it's off to the side of the front desk there.
We actually have 2 kiosks. One is at the concierge desk. Another is right before you enter the business center. And then we also have 2 other possibilities of checking people in. One is at the concierge herself, as well as we have a tablet that we can go out there with if the lines get really long.
Okay.
I'm happy to report that doesn't happen very often, and we just do a really good job. The kiosk is extremely important to us, and that's because it gives us information as to who's waiting. It automatically puts you in line as to what service you've actually requested. It tells the people at the other end who's waiting to be served and for what. And so we're really seeing our residents embracing the kiosk because they don't have to stand in a line waiting for a concierge. They just go to the kiosk and they can check themselves in. We're there to help if they need any assistance at all. And it's really been very well received. Right now, we have manor alterations, the business center, community services, compliance, human resources, finance, and also purchasing. So let's say that you have an appointment with someone in compliance.
Right.
You can actually enter the information into the kiosk. They, in compliance on the 3rd floor, will actually see that you're here. They will gather up the information that they need in order to discuss the situation with you, and then they'll come downstairs and take care of it.
Yeah, that is very nice.
One day, our kiosk was down, and it took 3 people just in the lobby area focusing on putting people in the right areas.
Yeah.
And so we knew then that the decision,
what a benefit.
It was an absolute benefit, and the decision was a good one.
Very good. Now our last slide is going to, kind of what you were just talking about, the streamlined process, and it's really an amazing how well this has worked.
It has, and what it also gives us is information as to how many people do we need in order to do the job. How effective are we? Do we need to train additional folks in order to have that backup support?
Okay, let me ask you something. Do you see in the future perhaps putting kiosks in other areas, like maybe any of the clubhouses, so people can maybe work out an appointment going there, or eventually online, where people can maybe set up an appointments there and kind of work a virtual kiosk?
Well, the online is actually happening as we speak.
That's why I said that, because I kind of knew that. But
Chuck is doing
I don't know the status
a really
of
great
it.
job,
Yeah.
and the key here is for us to be able to have whatever our resident needs at their fingertips.
Now, are there people out there, there's sometimes people come up to a kiosk and they're a little lost on how to use it, but you have somebody there in case they can look over and say, can you help me with this?
We are all there.
Yeah.
It's up to the concierge to actually greet the persons as they come in and to ask if they need any assistance at all. But what I'm finding now is those who frequent the business center or the leasing office, they just come in and go right over to the kiosk. And so there's more of that, and that's because we're now up in technology, just like the banks and the Kaisers of the world and the other areas, that our folks should be able to just walk right in and do business with us the way they can elsewhere. On the same token, if a person isn't comfortable with the kiosk, then we can do it for them. And the concierge will actually check you in and make certain that you get settled and taken care of.
Yeah, so utilize those. They are very helpful. And I know once the online system is get up and running, we're going to have you back, and you're going to talk about that.
Well, I appreciate that.
Maybe we'll have Chuck come back too.
Well,
both of you together, and we'll talk all about that once that is the resident portal is what we're talking about, and once that kind of goes through its phases there and gets up to speed.
Exactly.
Because that's where all this is going to sort of come together easier online as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they can do gate clearance online too.
Yes. Very good. Thank you very much, Christine.
Thank you.
I
It's been my
appreciate you coming
pleasure.
up.
Well,
and I know we're
very
going to
much.
see you again. We're going to get her back here maybe in a few months when that all comes to light, and it'll be interesting to talk about that.
Well, I'm very excited about the village, and I love providing this service, and so does my staff.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we'll
you.
be right back.